Hello, and welcome to the Tinley Park Chamber of Commerce cable TV show. My name is Julie Carlson, and I'm delighted to be your host for today's Chamber Spotlight. Let's get started by meeting our first guest, Chamber member Nicole Underwood, the Executive Director for Kids Museum of Frankfurt.
Hi, Julie. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to our show. It's really a pleasure to have you. Why don't we get started, Nicole, by having you tell us a little bit about yourself and even more about your business.
Absolutely. So I am the Executive Director of the KidsWork Children's Museum. We are located in downtown historic Frankfurt. I've been the director there since August of last year. Before I took on this role, I was doing marketing and advertising in New York City. And before that role, I worked in telecom for 10 years in downtown Chicago.
Great.
So I have quite the diverse business background.
Most definitely. Nicole, why don't you tell us a little bit about the story about the KidsWork Children's Museum?
You know, it really is a fascinating, great story. So how KidsWork came about was really kind of a grassroots effort. It was Will County residents, parents, teachers, business leaders. They came together wanting a children's museum in Will County. They used to go to DuPage, Oak Lawn, downtown Navy Pier, which are all fantastic museums. However, they're kind of far away. So it was one of those things like, hey, let's establish something here in Will County. And that's what they did. They fundraised, they found a location, we are still located in that same spot. That's in the trolley barn in downtown Frankfurt. And we've been there since 2007. So we're still kind of young, considering as far as all the other children's museum, but we're definitely thriving.
Great.
So it's great.
Yeah, it's so nice to have something like that down in our neck of the woods.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's not just for Will County. We get so many people from Tinley Park, Orland Park, from all over. They seem to come down, gravitate towards Frankfurt. So we're really kind of proud of that.
Most definitely. Why don't you tell us about some of your programs and services that you offer?
Well, we do a fantastic job, and I say that just because we are one of the smaller museums. We are 6,700 square feet. I think when people have gone to a DuPage or an Oak Lawn, they are definitely larger, but somehow we're able to pull off some fantastic programs and events. So right now we are currently open 6 days a week. We are closed on Mondays, but Tuesday through Fridays, we always have a program. So on Tuesdays, we have story time. On Wednesdays, we have yoga. On Thursdays, we have music. And then Friday, we have Friday fun, which is we kind of like switch it up a little. So last month was, Dental Awareness Month. And so we actually brought in from Tinley Park, Joyful Smiles. They came in. And they actually did a program about dental awareness. Oh, nice. So it's really, we got some fantastic programs. Mm-hmm. And then we always have, every month, we have special events. So we have Wild Wednesday. So of course that lands on a Wednesday. And we bring in all these exotic animals. So from different zoos, different conservatory type organizations. So we'll have like a wolf, we'll have a fox, we'll have a kangaroo. I mean, wow. We bring in some crazy animals. And then we also have Musical Mondays. That also happens every month. We bring in some outstanding performers from everywhere, down in the city. Even high school kids will put on a great performance for us. Our most recent one, we had Pro Kids. He's Tim Hannick, and he is performed throughout the country, England, Canada. He has also performed at the White House twice, and we were able to get him at KidsWork, and that's $2 for members, $4 for non-members. which is really unheard of.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you could tell our guests a little bit about some of the membership costs and the pricing that's associated with your museum.
Yes, I would be happy to. So we have definitely different membership price ranges. So you can have a family membership, which is, 2 adults and your family, kids, and that's for $100, and that's for 1 year. And then we also have the Climb membership, which is really a great membership. So that includes not only 2 adults, but an additional adult. So that can be grandma, it can be a caretaker. It also includes the children within the household, and you also get 6 other people to come along with you. And you get 100% admission free to 6 other museums.
Wow.
So that's DuPage, that's Oak Lawn, that's Kohl's. So all the other museums. You also get 50% off hundreds of museums throughout the country. So if you go down to downtown, Navy Pier, Children's Museum, that's usually very expensive. You get 50% off.
Sure.
You go out to, up in Michigan, once again, you're going to get 50% off. So, and that's $150.
Sure.
It's a steal.
That's a great benefit.
It's a steal.
Wow, that's really a nice
Yeah,
added benefit.
and then we also have a grandparent. That's $80. So grandma, grandpa, their grandkids, $80.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you really have a lot going on at this museum.
We do.
A lot of
We do.
activities.
We do.
Can you tell me about the staff and what employees work for you, and maybe what some of their roles are?
Well, the thing is, we are a very small staff, and because we are a nonprofit. And when you hear a nonprofit, that really equates to we do not have a large budget. So there's a total of 8 staff members, and that includes myself. And I'm the only full-time. So I have a manager who works 2 days a week. I have an assistant manager who works 3 days a week. And then I have 5 play facilitators who are also part-time. And, we're able to pull off all these programs, all these events, and really with a very low budget. And that's something that we're really proud of. And that's really the nonprofit, lifestyle that you have to lead, is we have to watch the dollar and cents. Since we are 100% funded by memberships, admissions, those people who come in, day out, or just, visiting. Mm-hmm. Also field trips, and then really people donating. We really rely on those funds to keep our lights on, to pay the staff, and for us to pull off these programs.
Certainly. You talked about there being some other museums, a little up north, one in Oak Lawn. What would you say separates your museum from some of these? What differentiates you? What are the unique things that you would say draws the people to come to your place?
I think we do a outstanding job of really listening to our members and guests. We constantly take surveys, and we're always asking, what can we do better? What are you looking for? What program are you looking for? And we continually do this day to day because we're there to serve them. We wouldn't be there without our members and guests. And I think that's really unique. And I've been to many other museums, and they have, they're very fortunate. They have a lot of layers of management. They have a director of programming. They have a director of development. They have a director of exhibits. We don't have that. There's me. And then, 7 other part-time workers. And then 2 volunteers. Yeah. So, and we're able to pull off some of these amazing events, amazing programs, on really low budget.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it really is.
Wonderful.
I'm super proud.
Yeah, and speaking of events, I know you mentioned that you do have an upcoming event. Why don't you share that with us and tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so this is our one big event a year, and we are doing once again a Cinco de Mayo themed fundraiser. All proceeds, of course, go back into the museum. And what we do is, we've been working on this since September. So it's many months of getting this together. And we just rent a huge tent, and it's going to be outside in the back of the museum. And we have a mariachi band. This is a kids mariachi band out of Chicago, and they are amazing. We had them last year. We also partner up with Casamigos Tequila. And some may be familiar with that brand because that's George Clooney and Randy Gerber were the founders of this tequila. So we have partnered up with them. And so we will have margaritas, tequila tasting. We also have a fantastic silent auction. So many items that are donated from actually all communities, even Tinley Park, Orland Park, businesses will donate to us for the silent auction. We also have a raffle. It's being catered by Fat Rosie's Mexican restaurant, which many people might be familiar with. They're located in downtown Frankfurt, so they will be catering it. And it's actually hosted by our mayor, Jim and Stacy Holland. So it's a wonderful event. It's our largest event. There's opportunities to have sponsorship. So we do have a $1,500 sponsorship, $1,000, $500, and $250. And when we do with those sponsorships, whether you're a business, any type of business, we put your name out there. We basically advertise you like crazy with your sponsorship money. So again, it's a fabulous event. It's a great evening out. So I highly recommend people come.
Sounds like a wonderful event.
It really is.
Yeah, well, let's hope that you get a nice turnout and you raise some money. And you talked a little bit earlier about the field trips. Can you tell me, how do you promote, I'm assuming schools or preschools, how do you get the word out that you offer these types of services at your museum for them?
Well, thankfully, we, within our community, we have a lot of support from our schools, from our park district, from our libraries. So they do a lot of advertising for us. And they actually bring in a lot of the field trips for us, which we're booked for the next 2 months for field trips. They fill up very quickly, and they come from all around. They come from the city. We have field trips coming in to visit our museum. And they understand the park district, the libraries, the community. We complement them. We're another educational resource, is the museum, is our exhibits, is our programs. And we are, once again, very, very inexpensive. I mean, you could come in for each student for $2 and $1 for a chaperone. That's really unheard of.
Sure.
So that's why our field trips do fill up very quickly, but we're really proud of that program.
Sure. Yeah. No, there's a lot of activities and entertainment going on in the community, and this really sounds like a wonderful, wonderful, different, something that families can do with their time. So we've got just a little bit of time left. I wanted to ask you about, when you said how busy you were and with the part-timers and full-time, do you allow people to volunteer at your organization?
We love volunteers.
Yeah.
We have 2 volunteers, Joan and Julie. They've been there since the very beginning, and they consistently come every week. We are so proud of that. And we also get a lot of young people. This past weekend, I had a 7th grader come and volunteer. We also get a lot of high school volunteers because they have to get community hours in order to graduate. So you have to have 20 hours in order to graduate. And they like us because we're a nonprofit. So it looks really good on that transcript that they just volunteered at a nonprofit organization, and it's a children's museum. So we fill up volunteer hours very quickly. So we are very proud of that. And we, by the way, we take volunteers any day. You come in, fill out the form, you're basically in.
Great.
We would love to have anyone and everyone.
Super. No, that sounds really nice. Thank you for sharing all of that information with myself and the viewers. We've got just a little bit of time left here, and in closing, do you have any last minute thing that you'd like to tell our audience in closing?
Yeah, I think I would just really like to tell people we would love to have you come down to Frankfurt. It's a wonderful town. Our museum, generally the age group is between 1 and 8 years old. However, we do have programs that go up to 13. We do have STEM programs. We do partner up with a few other organizations for STEM classes. So I do encourage people to come down to the KidsWork Children's Museum. We would love to have you. So please, come on out.
Great, wonderful information. To find out more about KidsWork Children's Museum, please contact the Chamber office at 708-532-5700. And Nicole, I'd really like to thank you so much for being our guest on today's show. Good luck to you and your business.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Great. My next guest is Chamber member Pete Bolsoni, president of Same Day Tees. Pete, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Julie. Thanks for having us in today.
So glad to have you. Pete, why don't we get started by having you tell us a little bit about yourself and more about your business.
Okay. My name is Pete Bolsoni. I'm president of Same Day Tees. I run the company with my wife. We're in the process of relocating from Peatone out to Frankfurt. We do screen printing, embroidery, direct-to-garment printing. We do everything to make your company or organization look better.
Great,
Yeah.
great. How exciting that you're building a new location. We can talk about that maybe a little bit later.
Yeah.
Pete, what got you started in the t-shirt business?
A couple things. One was a high school teacher I had when I was a junior at Oak Forest. He taught me the basics. We would work on school posters for the plays and stuff and t-shirts for the different teams and that. At night, I learned with him. And then I took a class in Arizona when I was about 19. I went out there and learned kind of the art of printing when I was really young, and that kind of opened up my eyes to what I was doing. So that was the basis, and then I've been in the business most of my career.
Great.
So,
wow. Exciting. So how many employees do you have working for you, and could you maybe tell me a little bit about some of their roles?
Yes, right now we have about 20 employees. In the summer we go up to 25. Our current facility, it was pretty much all we could fit in there because we maxed out in space, so we hope to grow a little bit. But we have about 4 artists right now. We have about 15 printers, 10 to 15 printers, 4 embroiderers, and then people that do miscellaneous other jobs like screen making and stuff like that. And it's a pretty tight-knit team that we have. We're always working with deadlines and stuff, so it's pretty interesting and exciting.
Yeah.
And nerve-wracking.
So Same Day Tees,
Yes.
I'm assuming that you do something, or you have other products besides t-shirts. Can you maybe talk a little bit about what other products you manufacture?
Yeah, we do a lot of stuff like sweatshirts and hoodies and hats and jackets and polos. Pretty much anything you could put your logo or message on, we could do it for you. And we have a 1-day, same-day rush service, and then we also have a standard 1-week service. But our 1-day service, we get a lot of people that will find us through Google and go onto our site, and those are the people that need something right away. And then the people that do the embroidery and other types of things, they usually have a little bit more lead time, and we work with them with designing their logo, finding them products and stuff like that.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So I am in charge of a volleyball league, and we just found out that we need to have t-shirts for our first match, which is next week. I call you. What do I do next? What happens next?
So we would find out what type of shirt you're looking for and when the event is, and then see if you want to incorporate your team or school logo to start off with. If you're going to state or something like that, we might incorporate, that you've won state or going to state or whatever that is. And a lot of those type of events, you don't get a week turnover. It might be they're in sectionals one day and a couple days later they're at state and they're filling up buses, taking parents down there. We got to get that stuff done right away for them.
So you can really make t-shirts in one day, huh?
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful benefit to have for,
Yeah.
For you. What other current services do you offer? You said you embroider.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell me about that part of the business?
The embroidery is typically on more expensive items like jackets and polos and sweatshirts and different types of outerwear, and a lot of caps we do, and we do that in as little as 1 day too, but typically that's 3 to 7 day turnaround, and we'll help people with the design if they want, or the layout, and come up with suggestions for them.
That was one of my other questions was, do you offer design services? So now let's go back to my volleyball team that needs T-shirts. Do you design logos? Do you come up with, cool designs for people that maybe don't really have, come to you with an idea in mind? Does your staff, help out with that?
Yeah, we help out a lot with design work and that. What we do find out with the younger generation, the high school kids, and even the ones right out of college, a lot of times they'll come to us with a rough idea or idea already, and they'll just need help with print colors and stuff like that. But we do a lot of design work, or we'll get something scribbled on a napkin and they need us to clean it up, and so we're full service, anything from designing to cleaning up your art or using an image you've already got.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, sure. Who are your ideal clients? Who typically contacts you and reaches out to you for T-shirts?
Most of what we do, the bulk of our business is businesses, groups, special events like a 5K run or a marathon or something like that, or company picnic. But some of the odd demand or the same day type stuff tend to be gag gifts type things, or like there might be 6 girls going to Vegas for a bachelorette party and they want to get some T-shirts, and that type of stuff tends to be smaller runs. And then, that's the stuff we're shipping all over the country. They'll call us up, they'll do the design one day, and we got to ship it out the next day for them or the same day for them. So it's kind of crosses the gamut.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you can really be quite a busy operation if you get a lot of last-minute requests in for same-day T-shirts. Can you maybe just describe for our guests what a typical day is like at same-day tees?
Well, so in the morning we start out with a schedule with everybody having what they're going to do. And pretty much by 9 or 10 o'clock, that's usually kind of tossed out the window because all the same-day stuff comes in. And so we're constantly juggling and trying to get things done for our customers, which makes it very exciting and challenging. We have a lot of young people that work together really well as a team, and it's exciting to put something together and get it out. So no day's the same, and with we changed our name probably about 7-8 years ago, and that's kind of we grew really fast at that time, but it changed it from the old mentality of screen printers and embroiderers getting something done in 1 or 2 weeks to having to speed things up and get it done fast. So you got to be on top of your game, and the people that work for you got to be on top of their game, so it makes it exciting. The day goes by fast. There's never a day where we're all sitting around wondering when 4:30 is going to be here.
Yeah.
We're always fighting the deadlines and hoping the UPS truck ain't here yet to pick up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have any current promotions going on right now?
We do have a one on our website. It's 10% off. So there's a code. I don't remember what it is, but there's a code that you get 10% off your order online. So that's a nice discount, and that's
Sure.
either on same day stuff or standard delivery stuff.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sure. Everybody likes to save a little money here and there.
Yeah.
What would you say sets same-day tees apart from any other T-shirt place, embroidery facility? What keeps the customers coming back to you?
So what's interesting is we're moving from Peatone, and right now we're in a very small town. But if you come into our business, we do a large volume of business, and we do it all across the country. So we have these resources that we'll be bringing to Frankfurt, that we have designers and we have a lot of equipment to get stuff done and get it done fast that you don't typically see in your neighborhood print shop. We're one of the largest printers in Illinois, and we're definitely the largest printer embroiderer on the south side. But because our stuff's all over the country, people don't really know that much about us until recently, and we're starting to kind of get out there and let people know more about us.
Yeah. So where do some of your customers outside of Illinois, how far do they come from?
We do stuff every day. We ship at least 90% outside of Illinois. So most of our stuff ships outside of Illinois. And then we do a lot of stuff internationally too. We were working with a college it was an investment company a few years ago, and they were trying to recruit at the top colleges around the world. And we did these really cool T-shirt designs for them, and we were shipping them to Harvard and to China and all over, all over the country, and that was a lot of fun. So we ship stuff all over Bermuda, Canada, Mexico, different places all the time.
Pete, do you have any type of like an online store or somewhere people can go to kind of see what their options are when it comes to ordering, the different types of T-shirts that you typically make?
Yes, we have a website, and they could go on and look at different goods, and they could design their logo if they want, and place an order or get information and send an email saying, hey, I'd like to do this and this, and we get a lot of orders that way too. And we still do it the old-fashioned way. You come in, our new facility in Frankfurt's going to have a showroom, so you come in and touch and feel, because a lot of people still like to touch and feel, but other people want to just, do it at 3 in the morning and design their shirt and have it go out.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure a lot happens behind the scenes. What type of equipment or technology do you use in your warehouse factory that maybe the guests might be interested in hearing a little bit more about?
So we have a number of automatic presses, and they typically run at like 600 to 1,000 pieces an hour. They range in printing colors at 8 to 18 colors, so we could do up to 18 colors at a time. We have state-of-the-art screen making and embroidery equipment and a lot of other stuff I can name, but nobody would probably understand. One of the cool things we're getting in our new facility is the process of reclaiming screens and making screens was always very tedious in that, and we're getting some equipment in that's real eco-friendly. It was developed in California and Nevada for the strict OSHA laws, and then also to cut down on water. We're bringing it in to our facility here, so we're going to be using a lot less water, a lot less energy, and being able to filter the water in that. So that's one thing we're excited about.
Well, we've got just a little bit of time left. Why don't you just have a parting message for our guests and let them know what you'd like to conclude with today.
So we're going to be open the beginning of April, and you can get our address from the chamber office. But we hope, even if you're not looking for a T-shirt, if you got time to stop in and say hi and see our showroom, and we'd be glad to walk you around our facility, show you what we do and how we do it. A lot of people are kind of surprised when they see the process, how much actually goes into it, and how automated it's came over the years from when they did it in high school or grade school.
Great.
Yeah.
Super. To contact any of today's guests, please contact the Chamber office at 708-532-5700, or if you'd like more information on any of our Chamber members, you can go to our website at www.tinleychamber.org and look at our members directory. I'd like to thank all of our guests for being on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Tinley Park Cable TV show. We'll see you next month.